Hey, let's be honest that sometimes it feels like we're doing this when it comes to having digital marketing as a plan to attract new customers. Um, it can be challenging. And so this reminds me of me, quite frankly, and my company, Swing Point Media, as we're a digital marketing company, a lot of times we were always on the forefront. I mean, that's what our customers are paying for, is us to always be on that cutting edge of what is the next thing that they should be involved in to try to get their customers. And about 18 months, almost 2 years ago, I felt like that puppy. Every day I was learning, just enough to stay one or two steps ahead of somebody, whether it was TikTok or it was Instagram stories or it was YouTube, whatever it was. And I got to tell you, it was exhausting. So I'm coming from a place that I've been where you may be, and that is digital marketing overwhelm or exhaustion. And so today I thought, hey, I want to share with you quickly the journey I went on. And at that time, my business partner and a dear, dear friend, what we decided to do and what it did for our customers. And quite frankly, what it did for our sanity. And again, my name is Jeff Harrison. I own a company called Swing Point Media. We're a boutique Swing Point or a digital marketing company. And some of you might be asking, hey, why are you doing this, Jeff? Why are you doing this? Because I'm going to share, and then I'm going to invite you to join me in a 5-day challenge to show you, really to transform you from being that or having the feeling like that puppy chasing its tail to, hey, I got this. This makes sense. It's something that's going to last a while. It's not a bright, shiny object. And I can get back to doing what I love to do, which is grow my business, work with my employees, and maybe spend some more time with your family or do the things that you love to do. So the question is, why, Jeff, would you do this and really just give this away? And the reason is because many years ago, I remember, again, I'm going to refer back to Andrew. We were speaking together and he was talking about why the internet had grown so fast. And the reason is because it went into what we called open source. In other words, what would happen is somebody would come out with something, they would put it out there and they would make it an open source platform. It'd only be like, hey, here's my blog. And I want all the best writers or everybody in the world to critique it and actually edit it and change it and make it better. Well, that accelerated the whole process. And when it comes to digital marketing, it exploded. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to help you stop chasing your tail and get back to doing what you love to do. Most of our customers are HVAC companies, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning companies, plumbers, that type of thing. And I want you to know what I'm sharing today is valid across all platforms. I don't care if you're a landscaper, you sell, something at a brick and mortar store. It doesn't matter. You could be a doctor, an attorney. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to share today is fundamentally sound. And here's the thing. You go from chasing your tail to actually being 100% in control of the people coming through your door, because you're going to find today, after we get done, that you're going to have a higher quality customer. Your time to go from, hey, I'm just thinking about something to buy, to buying it, we call it the customer journey, that starts to compress time. And again, the reason I'm doing this is because there's only so many clients we at Swing Point Media can work with before we're saying, hey, we're full up. And what that does is it limits the number of people we can actually help. So I said, hey, I'm going to take this open source. And I went back to my friend and dear partner and dear friend, Andrew, and I said, hey, Andrew, are you interested in doing this together? And he said, yeah, because we do have a lot of proven success that what we do and what we've done for customers, not only in that field, the HVAC, but other fields, is we started paring down and saying, hey, this is really the super niche that we want to work in, that it works for everyone. You could be a coach. You could be a trainer at a gym. It doesn't matter. You could be a minister at a church. This all works. So what I did is I said, when I was running around 2 years ago, I said, wow, I can't keep this up. We can't keep this up as a business, because I want you to think about something. If you had And I want to thank you for joining us. And people are coming on as we're doing this. And I want you to think about something. Think about your business and think about your core product or service that you offer. And imagine that what happens is you attract some customers and you take care of them. They're dependent on you to do X, Y, and Z. And then a week or two later, you come back to them and say, hey, I'm no longer doing that. I'm doing this. And at a time, maybe some people, because they like you, they'll follow you. But you do that 3 or 4 times, and all of a sudden they're going, this guy's schizophrenic. They don't know for sure what business they're in. And that sometimes can be like this digital marketing, the whole platform. I remember, my background is I was a golf professional, and I'd done this for many, many years, through high school and college. I was fortunate to play, competitive golf at the highest level. And then I finished my career here in the Coachella Valley, and I was a head professional at Mission Hills Country Club over in Rancho Mirage. And then I started getting back into what I really enjoyed doing, was teaching. And there was a period of time where I was at La Quinta Resort in PGA West, and I was director of sales and marketing there for the golf industry. And I remember back in 1997, when I left playing competitive and I came to Mission Hills Country Club. And back then, email was just coming around. And I thought, wow, this is a great idea. This is a way we can communicate with our clients, our members. And I remember how people said, Harrison, you're crazy. Why would you want to get on it? It's a fad. It's like a pet rock. I'm like, I don't know. There's something more to that. So I started getting intrigued in this whole digital thing about now 24 years ago. And it hasn't changed. But what has changed is how we reach our customers. That's changed. And that's the stuff that was driving me crazy, keeping me up at night, because I was always learning that next platform, how to leverage your brand on TikTok. What songs should you sing? What dance is going to get you the most response? And it was crazy. So I said, there's got to be a better way. And so what I did is I went back in to my thought process, and I thought, when I was teaching golf, and I taught thousands of lessons, tens of thousands of lessons, and this helped me when I was playing competitively too, is if I went in and let's say, for instance, I said, somebody had this, new grip that I was supposed to try, and this was supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and I tried that new grip, there would be a time where I would have to learn how to do that before I could then become comfortable with it. Well, imagine you're doing the same thing. You're on Facebook, but then somebody says, oh, you got to get on this Instagram thing. So you go on Instagram, and there's a period of time where you're not very good at it. In fact, it's frustrating because you're seeing no results. And then before you know it, somebody says, oh, you need to be doing stories on Instagram. And you say, well, what's a story? So you research on stories and you start doing that. And then somebody says, oh, no. You need to go to IGTV. That's where it's really at. You're like, what is IGTV? In other words, you're overwhelmed. You're never really getting good at any of these. So what I would do is I would tell my clients, and I did it with confidence when I was teaching. I said, listen, everything I'm teaching you is based on the laws of physics. And I would ask them a simple question. What's 1 + 1? And they look at me like, it's 2. I said, let me ask you a question. If you went to Bolivia and somebody asked you what's 1 + 1 in Bolivia, what would they say? And they said 2. I said, what about Eastern Europe? 2. I said, so that's what I'm going to teach you. It will work under all conditions. Well, as I thought about that, I thought, how can I do the same thing when it comes to hey, Pantea, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you popping in here. Pantea is a wonderful gal. She's part of our mastermind. In fact, she's leading a mastermind group that I'm in. But anyway, so we're talking about, making sure our fundamentals are sound. Like as an example, and I'm going to use probably because my background is golf, and then I'll put it into marketing, is this. I would ask people, how do you hit the ball straight? Because let's face it, most of the people, if you can control 3 things in the game of golf, you can play at a very high level and you can really enjoy it. 1 is direction, 2 is distance, and 3 is, well, you'll have to stay tuned for that. I'll show you that in a minute. So here's the thing. I would ask them, well, how do you hit it straight? And they would tell me all the things they're not supposed to do. And I said, wait a minute. I want you just to tell me what the 1 + 1 is. and I'd say, here's how you hit the ball straight. And it would make it so clear. It would take that, the dog chasing his tail fog away from their brain. I said, here's all you have to do is you have to have the club going down the target line with a face that is square. We call it perpendicular to the line when you strike the ball. And when that happens, the only spin you can put on the ball is backspin. So what happens, the ball has to go straight. So I thought, what's our 1+1 when it comes to marketing? What is that? And I got to going back and I thought, people make decisions based on what? Is it that you're on TikTok or that you're on Instagram or that you're writing blogs, you're making videos? No, it's really not. When people make a decision, they have to have enough information to take action. Now, granted, hey, if you're at the checkout counter and you want a pack of gum or chiclets or whatever it is, Altoids, it doesn't take a lot, but you process it very quickly. But with our customers, generally they're spending anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 deciding on a heating and air conditioning unit or an attorney. Like Pantea, she is a family planner. She's a oh gosh, Pantea, I apologize. I've just gone blank on that. But she helps people with estate planning. That's it, estate planning. While it is a great investment, it's still a larger investment. So what do people do to be able to make a decision and pull the trigger? And with that, I came back and I said, wow, wait a second. Here's what happens. People research because they have a problem. They don't have the information. So they research until they feel, hey, I'm confident to go forward. Now, here's the coolest thing. Almost 100% of people will do this before they make a buying decision of any kind when it's a bit of a higher ticket item. Not everybody will say, hey, I'm taking that exit now and I'm buying at the same time. But what I do know is this, and if you're watching this live, write it down. If you're watching this recorded, write this down. They're going to make a decision when they are satisfied with the answers. So I thought, okay, well, how does that play back into Swing Point Media helping our customers? And I said, well, what questions would your ideal customer, now here's a cool thing. What questions would your ideal customer need answered before they pick up the phone, send you an email, text you, whatever it is, walk in your location and say, I'm ready to make a decision? What questions do they have to have answered? And with that, I said, hey, if I can answer those questions, or if we can discover the questions that need to be answered, and then, now watch this, make the content available to them. So when they're doing what? Researching online for that answer, and our customers come up with that answer when they search for how much does it cost to replace my air conditioning? And all of a sudden our customers' response, whether it's written, video, or both, appear up at the top of Google. Guess what happens? People will click on that. They'll read the article, watch the video. And because our clients are trained not to be, hey, I'm the greatest, I've been in business for X number of years, blah, blah, blah. No, we're just spending time with them saying, hey, these are the steps you have to go through to make sure you know what size air conditioning you need, or what size whatever, or what's the best automobile X, what's the best size, whatever it is. We answer those questions to the fullest, and it is not salesy. It is not salesy. Now, I remember years ago, there's a guy, his name is Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, he's everywhere, but he wrote a book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. And he did this, I keep looking over because there's comments over here. And he did this to try to illustrate when we put out content, it can't be always buy my fish tank. It can't always be buy this, it has to be some give. Because here's the thing, and here's a law of compensation, or the law of the harvest. if you don't put any seeds in the ground, you will never reap any harvest. If you're always pulling up, carrots, and you're never putting anything in the ground to grow more carrots, eventually you're going to go to the field. There are no more carrots. So what I'm saying is the content that is made are seeds that your ideal customers will find that will solve their problems. And then they will naturally be attracted to you and say, I'm going to use Pantea. Naturally, I'm thinking of doing estate planning because these things are changing my life. I've gotten married, or I'm married and now I have children. I have to redo my estate planning or update it. Who should I call? And as these questions come up is, what should I do if I have newborn children when it comes to my estate plan? Well, or my trust. And if Pantea has content online for that, then guess what? She will be seen as the authority, and it will naturally attract people to her because what is she doing? She is giving. She's not asking for anything. She is giving. But this is what happens. And I'll just give you one quick little tidbit, and I'm going to start wrapping this up. My goal is about 20 minutes. We're just hitting 17. So one of our clients, he's now sold his business, and there's a neat story behind that. He reached out to us and said, hey, I like what you're doing. How can you help me? And so we did. We went to his business and we talked about that. And you could see he was excited to get started, but he was a little uncomfortable because he says, we're going to create all this content. I'm not going to ask people to buy. I said, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. He's like, okay, well, we'll go with it. And I remember when we were in charge of writing the articles. So we would do all the research. We would get the topics. We would send the topics with all the keywords that are necessary to our writers, and they would write the articles. Then I would go out and we would film this owner of the business in his business about doing those things, fixing those problems, being the solution. And it would be so hard for him not to open up of saying, hey, my name is X, Y, and Z, and this is why I'm here. No, it would be, I know you're searching for a way to stop your toilet from running in the middle of the night because it wakes you up and you're just tired of a running toilet. Stick with me and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do to fix that today on XYZ. We'd have a little intro, come back. Then he would say something like, hi, my name is with blah, blah, blah. And today we're going to solve that problem of that toilet that seems to run nonstop. The cool part about there's only 3 particular things that could happen that causes your toilet to run. I'm going to show you in today's video exactly how to fix that so that you can get a good night's sleep. So let's dive in. Now, see, that's a little different feeling than walking into a store and somebody says, or you're walking onto an automobile lot and you happen to touch the red car and the salesman or salesperson comes swooping over there and says, hey, let me tell you all about that red car. And you're going, I just stepped on the lot. It has nothing to do with the red car because you don't know my problems yet. You don't even know why I rolled in here. So the number one thing is to say, how can we solve our ideal customers' problems? And look at your content and find out, wow, is my content just saying how many trucks I have or how big my store is or how many employees I have and how long this guy's been doing this? Or is it really solving problems that your ideal customers, the people that will walk in and buy from you, is that there? Now, a recent client, I think they're probably 4 or 5 months old with us. And when they had been around since 1993, now do the math, since 1993, we went to their website when we started, they didn't even have a blog. In other words, it was a static site that didn't allow them to give this information to their ideal customers. They couldn't attract people. They could only be almost like that, hey, I'm getting the leftovers. You know, if there's an emergency and nobody else answers the phone, or you happen to be the first one that comes up in the phone book or phone book in your search terms for a plumber near me, then you get a call. I don't want you to be like that. I want our customers to dominate, not by saying I'm the biggest and the best, but by being the biggest, most powerful resource that solves the problems clients are having. Now, yesterday, and I'll share this with you, one of our clients, they create custom golf carts. They build luxury custom golf carts. And yesterday, I just happened to be updating because it's the first of the month. And I was looking, and one of their videos just in this last month, the last 28-day cycle, it had 2,700 views. Now, some of you might say, well, that's not very many. No. 2,700 targeted views. And what I mean by that is this video that did so well is how much does a new custom golf cart cost? And how can I make a decision buying that one? That was it. And it's about a 5-minute video, and 2,700 people took action on that. Our client has done very well. They are dominating in their market. In this process, there are so many good things. One is your customers are higher quality because they've already knocked themselves out. Those people that are maybe looking for the best price, a discount, all that kind of stuff, they tend to knock themselves out because you're not playing in that. I call it a red ocean, or I shouldn't say I call it a red ocean. There was a book called Blue Ocean Strategy, and that is simply this: play where there is no competition. And what I know is about 99 out of 100 people that we work with, their competitors aren't doing this. So guess what? As soon as we get involved and help them do this, they're on fire because they're the only ones that are doing this. In fact, I want to go back to our local HVAC company, and he said, in an interview, and I'll share that, is he said, I felt we had an unfair advantage and actually felt bad for my competition, because what would happen is his videos, when we put them out, he would get, 2,000 to 5,000 views on it. The other guys, 1, 2, 10, 40. Well, let's think about it. If you were a professional basketball player and you got chances to throw a free throw 2,000 times versus 40 times, which one do you think you'd have a higher number that actually went through the hoop? You have more chances. You just have more ups. So wrapping up today, my goal is to say, I want to make this open source. I want to help as many people with my friend and former partner, Andrew McCauley. We want to help as many people as possible through open source education. Say, hey, we want to show you how to do this. We want to teach you the same method that our customers pay us thousands of dollars a month for. We want to show you what we do, because the only way your business is going to get better and you're going to be able to stop chasing your tail like that puppy is to say, what I've been doing doesn't work. That digital platform and all the options out there, I can't keep jumping from one platform to the next and expect to be an expert at it. So in the post that you probably found on this, at the very bottom, there is a place where you can actually join me. And it's 5 days. We're going to start in a week. And when I say 5 days, it's not 5 days all intense. It's about an hour each day. And every day you'll have the opportunity to interact. It'll be a Zoom call. We'll see you. We want to have your input because this is a learning platform. And it's called 5 Days to Digital Freedom. And it's actually really designed for heating HVAC business owners who are saying, hey, I'm 3 to 5 years away from retiring and I don't really have a digital footprint. By the way, having a digital footprint is like saying almost doubling your business. It actually adds value at time of sale, because let's face it, if you're dominating in the marketplace, you have all these assets, hundreds of videos, hundreds of articles, and you're the one ranking first, second, third on Google searches for all these questions, that is an asset. So come join us. It starts a week from Monday. We'd love for you to join us. The link in there, all you have to do is join our private Facebook group, because that's where it's going to go down at. We'll do a Zoom call within the private Facebook group, and we invite you to come. It's going to be about an hour every day. And at the end of every session, we'll have a little work, because here's our goal. We want to transform you from that puppy chasing its tail to 5 days later, you are a business owner who's in total control and realizes there is a 1+1 to my digital marketing strategy. It's not changing every time you turn around. To reinforce that, I'm going to give you one more thought process. If I were your broker and you had $1,000 to spend and you say, I want to invest $1,000, You give that money to me and I say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. You say, great, let's move on. Tomorrow you call me and you say, wait a minute, I was talking to my friend Nancy last night. No offense to Nancy last night. And she said, oh, you got to put your money in this. Can you move it over? And I say, well, sure you can. So she says $1,000 now is going to this new. And I said, no, there are fees involved in stopping what we did, or actually starting what we did, stopping and then restarting other things. So you're going to have, let's call it $875. Well, imagine you did that 5 or 6 days in a row. Your original asset is now, or your original investment is worth a lot less. You never gave that seed, that investment, time to grow. So we're going to show you during this week of a way to plant seeds that every time you plant them, they do reap a harvest. So again, thank you for joining me. My name is Jeff Harrison. Share it with a friend. If you know somebody who out there who has said, wow, they need to know this, we invite you to come. Like I said, it is for heating and air conditioning companies that owners are about 3 to 5 years from retiring. But I want to be very, very frank. It works for anyone, this process. We're going to be speaking specifically HVAC language, but you'll see, just like today, this works because 1 + 1 is the same no matter where you go on this planet or, quite frankly, up in space. I should check with Elon on that just to be sure. Is 1 + 1 in Mars the same as it is on Earth? I don't know. I'm sure it is. Hey, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me. My name is Jeff. I'll see you next time. And avoid the chasing of your tail.